guys, welcome back to Critical Flick. This is Brian, and since every week it seems like there's a new, reboot or a remake of a movie, I figured we'd start doing this segment where we do the original movie and cover that. So with the new Power Rangers movie coming out, I figured I'd cover the 1995 classic, The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I'm going to preface this video by saying when I was growing up, I didn't watch the Power Rangers. It's not like a franchise that I was like super into. I watched more like DBZ and stuff like that, but I mean, watching this movie, it just brings back nostalgia I didn't even know I had for this franchise. It is just fantastic. Now, it's like super goofy, right? Because it's the Power Rangers, but it works with this. It works fantastic. There's so many like goofy scenes where they're just like flipping into frame and they're doing all this really cool wire work, which at the time, I mean, it's kind of impressive. Like they were able to do that with this movie. So the premise of this movie is the Power Rangers villains, they dig up this egg. And in this egg is Ivan Ooze. So, I mean, let me first say by saying Ivan Ooze is a highly underrated villain. Okay. You have these villains that come out in Marvel and DC, they're so serious, they take themselves so seriously in these goofy movies. This character, it looks like a Mel Brooks character. It's fantastic. It's so goofy and off the wall. It's almost like Disney quality villain, but in like real life. So I thought he was fantastic. And his little one-liners and puns are like on par with like Batman and Robin, but like not as bad as Batman and Robin. So I mean, I love the villain. It's just so stupid, it's great. So the Power Rangers lose their powers because Ivan Ooze goes to like their home base and he basically just like breaks the thing that's powering Zordon and all their super suits that they morph into. The Power Rangers have to go and they have to get their powers back. So they go to this planet and they meet this like warrior princess, and she tells them to go to this giant temple thing, and then they fight some people, which I mean actually it's kind of cool because the people, they look like almost like Buffy style makeup. Like the makeup in this is actually pretty good. Like Ivan Ooze looks as good as what we saw in Apocalypse. Like it kind of looks like Apocalypse. If you have the two together, you would be like, oh, that's from like the same movie. The little quotes in this movie are fantastic. Like there's so many like little goofy 90s things about it that make this movie it's a great nostalgia movie. Like if you haven't seen it, because I mean it came out in 1995 and I haven't seen it since 1995, and I thought it was fantastic. Like I actually thoroughly enjoyed watching this movie. Now some of the filming locations, like I was actually kind of impressed. Like when they go to like the other planet, I was like, wow, this actually looks kind of cool. Like this is filmed on some cool set somewhere, and I looked it up. It's all filmed in Australia, so you have a lot of really cool scenery in this like really goofy movie. Like they didn't look like they spared on the budget at all in this movie. Like there's one part where they fight this big bone monster, and like nowadays you would see it like CGI'd and you'd be like, oh, it looks kind of like, I mean, it's CGI, but this was like, they really put it together. It's like an animatronic, and I mean, it looks kind of cool. Like it's goofy, but it looks decent. So about the CG in this movie, it's absolutely terrible. Like it looks like those old like late 90s computer games used to play, where like it was really the metallic-y glossed over, and you probably thought like, oh, this looks really cool, like those old music videos, and oh, it's so bad. It's it's like laughably bad. But I mean, it's 95. Like what do you expect? Like it's not gonna look good. The one thing that I fully took away from this movie is that the white Power Ranger is amazing. Like they always have these things like, oh, if you could pick one person from a movie to protect you or be like your companion on a journey, I'm picking the white Power Ranger. He literally saves everyone all the time. Like I think he could have done this whole movie by himself and been fine. Like we didn't need the rest of the Power Rangers because he literally saves everyone. Like he'll just come flying out of nowhere, he'll be like, oh no, he'll come flying in out of nowhere and just beat whatever it is because he's just awesome. He's a total badass. This movie ends, like, I don't know if it's really a spoiler because the Power Rangers are going to win. Like, it's going to happen. But this movie ends with like this celebration in Angel Grove, like right on the water, and it's just the music. They play it end with a Van Halen song, and it's so perfect, and they're just like, yeah, and oh my goodness, it's just, the end of the movie was just so amazing. Like the end scene with the fireworks and them being all happy and the Van Halen song, it's perfect. It was a perfect ending. I went to this movie, I mean, I wasn't expecting anything. I didn't like Power Rangers. I didn't watch Power Rangers. I wasn't like, oh God, I want to watch this movie. I was just watching it because the new one's coming out. And I was blown away. this movie is probably, in all reality, like an 8.5 for me, and that's saying something. So, if you want to go watch it, I think it's on. I watched it on HBO Go. It was actually kind of hard to try and find it on DVD, but if you go, it's on HBO Go. Watch it now before the new one comes out, because it's worth a rewatch for sure. Obviously, everyone knows the new one's coming out in a couple weeks, and I'm terrified that this movie is going to be just absolutely awful. Watching the previews, it looks like it takes itself a little too seriously. Like, this old movie, nothing about it is serious. Nothing about this movie is like, this is like a blockbuster. It's just so, they took the show and they made it into a movie, and it works perfect. Like, it's everything about it is what it should be. And I feel like this new one is going to go way too far, like, it's going to go way too far to being serious. The CG in it doesn't look good. You watch this one, there's really not that much CG in it. It's like a lot of really cool practical effects, and I think that's what they should do. But I mean, they obviously won't do that now, but I'm a little worried for the new one coming out. Alright guys, thanks for watching again. We'll be putting a new review up later this week for, Beauty and the Beast is coming out. We might try and see something else because everybody's going to be reviewing Beauty and the Beast. So, again, thanks, and remember to subscribe and to like our video because that would be fantastic.